And hello to my wonderful friends on my backup channel. Thank you to everyone for being here during my strike. I just wanted to do a quick video tonight with Kelsey to talk about Rudolf Steiner because you know what? I'm going to make an assumption, and I know that that could be making an ass out of you and me, but I don't think that Kelsey knows that much about Rudolf Steiner. And why do I think that? Because I don't know that much about Rudolf Steiner. And people are always saying that we should cover him more on Crow 777 radio, which we do intend on doing at some point. It's just that there's a lot of stuff to go through. And on Crow, sometimes if we're going to do the research, it's going to take a long time. It takes a lot of time to go through it. But and then finding the right guest is another problem. So I would rather that we do our own research. So I found this article that somebody sent me, and I thought that we would just read it together, Kelsey. And this is just more information to put into your knowledge base.
I can't read. Is that gonna be a problem? I never learned.
Well,
I'll try. I'll use my vowels.
Try to sound out the words.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, that's why we're all here to support you. In fact, let's motivate you to try and harness the energy of remembering the alphabet and how to sound out the words. And let's see in the comments, let's find out who has faith in you. Let's see here. Globebusters here. Globebusters, do you have faith in Kelsey that she can help me to read an article on Rudolf Steiner? Hey, Dr. Bazak, where's I love you, man. Ooh, we've got some X-Globe 76 in the house. We got to catch up because of the delay and find out just how much faith. How much faith does our audience have in Kelsey's ability to read? Because if this doesn't work out well, that's not a problem at all. You've got other plans, and I could always have Karen B on because, her just...
I'm really good at lip syncing, though. So if you want to read for me, I can just mouth it.
Okay, yeah. And then we can also pretend to do sign language. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst at it. I could never accidentally get a fake job doing sign language. Okay. Yeah. Even though we did used to sometimes pretend that we were deaf when we were kids doing sign language, it must have just retarded. Okay, so we've got some total faith in the house. You can do it. All right, so let's go ahead and share my screen and just bring up this very short, simple article on Rudolf Steiner, who, let's just pretend that we have no idea who this guy is right now. I mean, I know a little bit about who he is, but are you able to see my screen, Kelsey? And are the words big enough for you to sound out each individual letter?
Wahai.
Okay, hold on, wait. Let me go first so you could see what it's like for someone to read.
Okay, you go first.
All right, thank you. It's my show. So, all right, here we go. Oh, by the way, I should say that this is from newbraveworld.org, and the title is, Did Rudolf Steiner warn us about transhumanist vaccines? And this was posted on October 3rd of 2021. I think the writer of this blog may be the person who sent this to me. So I'm so sorry that I don't remember your name. We'll have to look at the bottom and see if your name's listed on this website. So these thoughts and speculations are short articles that are best described as rambles, thoughts, or speculative insights regarding mostly esoteric topics. So while reading Dr. Thomas Cowan's book titled Vaccines, Autoimmunity, and the Changing Nature of Childhood Illness, I learned about a series of lectures given by Rudolf Steiner in 1917 in Dornach, Switzerland. Go ahead, Kelsey.
How it's pronounced?
Yeah. Actually, as you were joining my stream earlier, I was about to look up to make sure I was going to do it, but since I didn't have time, we'll just hope for the best.
During the lectures, Steiner spoke about the coming takeover of scientific materialism and the need for people to awaken to the spiritual realms. Steiner left us with the following warning, that the forces of darkness would attempt to prevent humanity from developing spiritual inclinations. Here's what Steiner said more than 100 years ago.
Keep going, Kelsey. I love it.
Really?
Yes.
I have told you that the spirits of darkness are going to inspire their human hosts, in whom they will be dwelling, to find a vaccine that will drive all inclination towards spirituality out of the people's souls while they are very young. And this will happen in a roundabout way through the living body. Today's bodies are vaccinated. Are
Today, bodies are Oh, wait, Kelsey, it's not your fault. It's poorly written.
I was
Just
like,
read the
wait,
Ebonics. See, I
okay.
just trolled you.
Today's bodies are vaccinated against one thing and another. In future, children will be vaccinated with a substance which will certainly be possible to produce, and this will make them immune so that they do not develop foolish inclinations connected with spiritual life, with a spiritual life or spiritual life. Foolish here, of course, in the eyes of materialists. There you
Actually,
go.
since that was just a quote, I mean, I don't know. This is supposed to be a quote, but I don't know. Did Rudolf Steiner make an error or all right.
Yeah, I guess you know what. Okay, so let's go back to that.
Did he make a mistake? Hold on. Does
Bodies are
anyone
vaccinate against one thing and another.
I would like to conclude that I cannot find a situation where that could
Do you think it's
possibly be correct grammar.
just a spell auto or
Bodies are it's the correct word would be vaccinated. Today, bodies are vaccinated against one thing and another. So, Kelsey, I don't think we need to be
I
paranoid.
feel like whoever wrote this knew that I was going to pretend like I couldn't read and they were going to mess with me. Where's Ashton?
It's like proof of God, this kind of like providence of humor that we were making a joke and it like played out too
But it was
well.
100 years ago. This guy decided to make a joke off these two girls.
No, I think that the person copying and pasting the quote was copying and pasting it from maybe someone who was transcribing it from an audio recording. Who knows? We'll never
Probably
know. We'll
person,
never
yeah.
know, but I'm really glad that Bob is laughing. And I did actually send you a voicemail on Skype, Glowbusters. It's because I have a potential plan. But anyway, let's not get off topic here. Let's continue with our article. Okay. So this quote is fairly harrowing considering what we're currently witnessing, which can only be described as a global psychosis, a mockery of informed consent and vicious attack on humanity itself. But what Steiner says warrants further analysis because what he's talking about in 1917 isn't just some kind of poison acting on the human nervous system, but a substance capable of preventing people from developing foolish inclinations connected with spiritual life. What Steiner may be implying here then is that there is a genetic and physiological component involved in spiritual experience. Now, Kelsey, just to jump in here, earlier in 2020, there was a theory or a commonly talked about theme about the concept that there is a part of our brain that actually is what connects us to our faith in religion. And I don't know if it's the pineal gland. I actually think it's a
Mhm.
different part of the body or maybe a process associated with the pineal gland. I'm only saying pineal gland because that's the part of the brain I usually associate with spirituality. But the point is that the idea was that it is possible that you could affect that part of the brain so that you're limiting, and it's like another way of dumbing us down and separating us from nature, the divine, our creative, the divine spark that connects us to reality.
Yeah, it's a separation.
So
It's
the
to
fact that he was
click
just
it off.
saying that is interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's the separation of. It's to block it. It's to click it off, to sever us from it.
Yes. All right, go ahead with the next paragraph.
Okay, now there are people who denounce the central dogma of biology, i.e., the notion of that DNA is transcribed into RNA, which is then translated into proteins. But it's still worth pointing out that there is the theory of a God gene, or a gene that codes for spiritual inclination, or perhaps even connection with a higher reality, was seriously proposed in 2004 by geneticist Dean Hammer.
Yeah, do you remember that was in the
God
news back then, the God gene. It was like a hot
Right.
topic. And I also opened up these two things are links that I already opened up in a new tab in case we want to just check those out really quick before we end. All right.
Okay.
Is it a
I'm looking up.
coincidence that these vaccines work by influencing the genetic content of our cells and the expression of certain proteins?
Mhm.
Maybe, maybe not. We would also do well to keep in mind that no study yet exists that shows the spike protein is actually produced by the cells. Furthermore, Hamer is a staunch materialist with the sad belief that humans are nothing more than a bunch of chemical reactions running around in a bag. Go ahead.
Nonetheless, the basic idea that the human body itself enables the evolution of spirit and, further, the full expression of God consciousness has been passed down by us by sages and mystics throughout the ages. In his book, God Talks with Arjuna,
That's right.
what is Arjuna, the
And
Bhagav,
he spelled this wrong too. It's actually the Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad,
So
Bhagavad Gita,
he's missing an A. Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad
Yeah.
Gita. I really feel like this guy was fucking with me from the beginning of the show.
I did not mean to troll you by
Uh,
inviting you on the stream to read this with
Royal,
me.
Royal Science of God Realization. Paramahansa
Paramahansa.
Paramahansa Yogananda
Good.
makes the profound claim that of all living forms, only man's body with its unique wait, just give me a second. Cerebrospinal centers has the potential of expressing fully God's cosmic consciousness.
The Buddha is also alleged to have said that it is rare to be born a human being, implying that the human form carries with it a unique potential for attaining nirvana. This theme of the human body is a unique vehicle for the evolution of consciousness, implies that there are features of our physiology, genes or otherwise, that enable a connection to or a latent potential to achieve God consciousness. Taking things further, this would also imply that there exists a means of shutting down such a mechanism. So, just to put in my 2 cents here, Kelsey,
Mhm.
for me, what I get out of this paragraph is that what we need right now is an evolution in human consciousness anyway, ever since the dumbing down of humanity since about World War I in this country. And that now that we have enslaved ourselves to such man-made systems and separated ourselves from nature, the only way that we can escape this quote unquote proverbial or literal matrix that is here,
Mhm.
uh, it's impossible unless we have a complete evolution in consciousness across the entire species, keeping in mind that even if that did happen, we'd still have little bits of psychopathy and evil because that's the nature of our
Mhm.
reality. So, I mean, the idea is that we have to grow up and govern ourselves and try to handle things from a non-government, which literally means mind control point of view. So a more through the free will of man we get along rather than through force and duress. So
I feel
sorry
like
for that
I feel like it's
rant.
kind of the opposite of that right now, where it's majority of people are trying to, have that they're trying to have their own revolutionary,
Yes,
path
absolutely. It's a total
upbringing.
inversion of what we
It's
need.
kind of,
So it's the time to
yeah,
fight. We want
I
to
know,
fight to
but
go in the right direction.
to have it separated, flip flop is a dream that seems like it would never happen.
It seems like it right now. It doesn't it seem like it's impossible? It seems to me that an evolution in consciousness
Mhm.
through the animalistic infantile farm animal order following zombified retards that we have become, or shall I say the masses as a whole in the aggregate consciousness, it does seem impossible. But Kelsey, my idea is that we cannot allow ourselves to give in to the death of the imagination, because it is the imagination that could change things. The first hermetic principle is mentalism, and so, just like the idea of creation, that there had to be an intelligent creation, we form our reality through our minds. So, we cannot let our imagination die. And then, another quote that I would like to say before we move on and have you read the next paragraph is that the only path to freedom is to accept the potential for chaos. So, just like going to through any winter of every year, there's always going to be hard times and a hard transition. But as human beings who care about humanity, a lot of the times we have to make decisions that are not for us, but for the future generations of
Well, it's feast and
humanity.
famine. Feast and famine. Every 10 years, there's a, what's it called? When the recession. And
Yeah.
if we don't prepare for it, then we're just being fucking stupid by not preparing for it, right? I think
Mentally and physically.
we should all just, the whole world should just do a reset, and everybody, instead of taking a vaccine, they should just all take mushrooms and macrodose of mushrooms. And I think that would change everything. That would be the evolutionary uprising right there.
Not gonna disagree with you there, Bob. No arguments from me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right,
So
let's go on to the next one. Transhumanism. Transhumanism thus represents more than
wait, you skipped it.
In 1961, decades after Steiner's vaccine warning, Aldous Huxley, a delude.
Aldous Huxley. And wait, let me just stop you there because he was the writer.
I was like, is this like Hitler?
No, Aldous Huxley.
I'm so dyslexic. I'm surprised that I'm even able to read right now.
No, you're doing so freaking awesome. But I love hearing you read, Kelsey. This is the first time I've heard you read like that. And I wish that we had done this sooner. This man, Aldous Huxley, is very, very important when it comes to the sci-fi that has brainwashed humanity over time. When it comes to transhumanism, he's really like an insider, and he's written a couple of books that you may have been familiar with. Let's see the chat if anybody wants to help. Yeah, Jay Armstrong, he wrote Brave New World. So I don't know if you ever read that book, Kelsey, but if you haven't, I'll just give you the summary sometime.
Well, I don't need to read it. I like to listen to books now because I just like fall asleep or listen to them in my car when I'm driving to work, since it's the only time that I can sit down.
Okay, there are 3 books then I think you should read in preparation for the upcoming shows that we're going to talk about at the end of this video.
Okay.
And that's going to be Brave New World, 1984, and Animal Farm.
Ooh, let's start a Flat Earth book club.
Yeah, well, I have a list of books that we recommend at Crow 777 Radio, so I can send you that list.
Sending them to me to send them to other people, so I should just intercept them and read them myself.
Yeah, and copy the list and recommend them to your people that you're doing their hair. Okay, so let's get back to this.
He alluded to a similar agenda, stating that there will be, in the next generation or so, a pharmacological method of making people love their servitude.
Yeah, that's a very famous quote.
The guy just like knew exactly what was going to happen, including me saying I couldn't read at the beginning of this live stream. Like, he knew it to the T.
Yeah, and making people love their servitude is a very famous quote that it like burns in my mind when I look around the world over the past years that I've been awake. It's just I cannot believe how much people love their servitude. So yeah, that fact that someone said that in 1917, can you imagine hearing someone say that in 1917? I have a feeling that the general public would not have been satisfied.
They had mouths in 1917.
All right. Do you want to do the next paragraph or is it my turn?
You can. I know you just love the word transhumanism and you want to read it.
Transhumanism thus represents more than a technological ambition to merge with AI. It's a means of suppressing or severing the latent spiritual connection present in each individual and replacing it with a materialist will. It is an alchemical transformation of consciousness itself. And I'll bet that it underlies the true purpose of these vaccines. So, Kelsey, there are a couple. Yeah. And so I want to go ahead now and share that next tab on that we had. Let's see. Share screen. So this is the next article from here. Ooh, that's interesting. So how long is this one? This is another article that we could read about the mRNA vaccines, but we also have a tab here about molecular biology, the God gene, and then also Aldous Huxley. We have a little bit of an audio recording. So maybe we can come back in a future little reading series and read the next articles here. What do you think of that, Kelsey?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I really, really love this idea of us doing little short videos where we read things together. And
Yeah,
so now that we did that,
gonna help
uh,
with dyslexia.
you can like look at Rudolf Steiner in different places on Google, and maybe ask some of your clients if they've ever heard of him.
I'm
And
still on Royal Raymond Rife, so I'm gonna need to get through my R's.
yeah. Oh my gosh, what if
Okay.
what if every day you like focused on a letter?
This isn't Sesame Street, bitch.
Oh, I just realized that I'm nostalgia
Oh.
programmed by Sesame Street, and now Sesame Street is probably so just an agent of the system.
So
Was it ever not?
it's so bad. It's
Don't. Oh
really.
my God! I just realized you're a mom, and you're a mom, and that means you've
She's
seen
never
Sesame
watched
Street
it.
recently.
No,
She
I
never
haven't.
watched it.
No, she doesn't watch it.
You're a good mommy.
She never watches it. She's not. Not.
But you watched it, right?
I probably watched it growing up. Yeah.
But you
I
don't
just
remember?
watched some. I do remember liking the intro. I loved Mr. Rogers. So
I do too. Do you know about the Mandela effect associated with Mr. Rogers'
no, tell
Neighborhood?
me. Oh my gosh, he didn't wear a red sweater.
Okay, Kelsey, since you liked that show, don't you think that you would be able to sing the opening song?
Really?
Do it. How does
Okay.
it go?
Um, could you be my neighbor? But I don't know how it starts. Like, how does the beginning of it go?
It's
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the
she's
neighborhood.
affected. She is affected. She is affected. Doesn't it make sense that it would be it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood? Don't you remember
Wonderful
that?
day in the neighborhood.
Do you believe that that's what it was? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood?
Yeah,
That's what you remember, right? So that's
yeah,
obviously what it was. Did you know
yeah.
that that's not how the song goes? It's never been like that, and that it's actually, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." It's not it's this.
Oh,
Why
come
the heck would
on.
it be this? This
That is so
neighborhood?
dumb.
I
So
know, why did reality change to something that doesn't
isn't
make
he?
sense? It's God. He's
Well,
up to something.
Cece was really into Daniel Tiger, and that's a spinoff of Mr. Rogers, and they sing it in the beginning. I wonder if their song in the beginning of Daniel Tiger's neighborhood is that way.
All right, well, I'll accept that, Kelsey,
I
until
don't
I do
know,
further
but I
research.
thought it was gonna be some big change. Like the and this isn't that big of a deal.
I know. Okay. So yeah, I don't like the spelling error ones because I love spelling correctly. Hey, Kelsey. Kelsey's a host, so she can do the I'm not. Why would you think that? Kelsey, stop
Anyway,
putting the comments on the stream.
okay.
Yeah, well, okay, we were doing a good job. Why would I say that? What a
I
control
love
freak.
Dave
I want to see the
Chappelle.
comments.
Dave
Why would
Chappelle's
I get mad
rendition
for
of
her posting the comments that I would want on the screen anyway?
Dave Chappelle's
So
rendition of Sesame Street is really good. Just
Dave
like
Chappelle, Dave Chappelle steals jokes from Owen Benjamin.
Nephilumpalus. What is it? He's all high bird.
Have
He's
you
all
seen the
broke back on heroin.
Have you seen the compilation of Dave Chappelle's jokes he stole from Owen Benjamin?
Yes, and I told Ethan about that the other day, and coffee shop Ethan, and he was like, "Oh bullshit! Why would he ever steal from Dave Chappelle? That's not true. That's not true." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's all there." And he's like, "It's just not true. That's not a thing. Like, why would he do that? He doesn't need to do that. It's not like they all have similar jokes. He didn't steal it." I'm like, it's like completely knocked off word for word.
Yeah.
It really irritated me. I'm like, oh my God.
Nothing's worse than a joke stealer.
I
That guy
what's
Carlos
worse, the joke
Mencia was
dealer
a
is somebody you tell that somebody stole the jokes and they were like, that no, he didn't. Like without even knowing any of the facts or knowing watching it, saying no, that didn't happen. That's even worse. Yeah, you are pretty stoned. I keep thinking that the screen is that it's freezing again, but it's just you like doing a long stare.
Stop it, Kelsey. Oh my gosh. I'm so not right now. You're crazy. It's 11:11 at night. I've been up since 6 a.m. I didn't even tell you that I climbed onto my grass today, and
Oh,
I dragged myself halfway to the tree that I'm obsessed with being able to sit
you
next to, and I
did.
had to climb back up. And then I
You did.
had guests over to entertain. So
Yes.
I
Well,
don't think that I'm doing that poorly for now. And after this, okay, so now
I don't know if
we're
you
about to end
remember,
up.
but you did tell me that's your voice memos right there. You did tell me about all of that tree and
Well, I told you I was obsessed with it. And I also did the live stream that I wanted to do for 5 minutes that ended up being 40 minutes. I wanted to do this stream for 15 minutes. We're at 27. So after this, the reason why I want to end it is not because I am not obsessed with my best friend Kelsey, but because I am going to do a 3 hour,
tour.
no, 2.5 hour stream on Rockfin. Maybe I'll just stream it to 2.0 and get a strike on this channel because I think my strike on my main is ending. I don't know if you guys want to be on YouTube. Let me know in the comments. But I'm also I increased my plan in order to stream to 8 places at once because what I'm about to stream is so important and so good. I don't know if you guys have been following, but I've been streaming my friend Jana's Eugenics Through Public Health, Bioterrorism, and Vaccine series. And part 10 was a slam dunk. And then now part 11 is out, but she's actually calling part 11 because it's such a mouthful. This is the occulted history of vaccines, part 1 at 2.5 hours. Now, guys, I know that you guys know everything about vaccines. Like we've been looking into this for a year and a half, but a lot of us, like with Crow 777 Radio, it's like, a couple episodes here and there on things and nothing's visual. Jana put together like an MTV style edited, like if you know what I mean, with like short attention spans. Basically, it's going to be entertaining and it's going to be
I love how
really
it just froze on
shareable.
you like this.
What did I do?
It froze on you when you went like this.
Okay, so I'm not stoned. It's just probably latency. Remember, my internet went down right before we started. I'm on my
Okay, no
hotspot
more.
right now.
And then we were gonna, so you're gonna go do that. That's gonna be really
Yeah.
freaking awesome, and I can't wait to watch. And I'm gonna watch it. Well, yes. And I'm gonna be doing my first live stream from my own channel. Wait, high five. Coming up on Saturday. Time my client gets there at, let's see, what time is the live stream going to start? But we're going to be talking about not just flat earth. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. My client gets there at 11 or 10:30 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. So that's what time the live stream is going to start. I'm going to have a different client every Saturday, whether they are flat earther, Democrat, Republican, they believe in God, they don't believe in God, they want to get vaccinated, they're addicted to it, or they don't want to. I'm just going to have all my different walks of life clients coming through, and I'm going to have them sit down, and I'm going to do therapy with them and interview them. And like I had the most amazing client earlier today. I'll just say she is I really wish I would have started the live stream today because and every time I have a client like this sit in the chair, I'm like, I can't wait to do the live stream. So hopefully it's as good as when I have these people. But I had a ultrasound technician who had so many amazing stories about what's going on right now and how many people here in Kauai that she's watching nurses walk out of the jobs and people that are experiencing blood clots due to you know what, and how she's just terrified right now in her job space and how they forced her into getting the you know what, or semi-forced, whatever, but like where she comes from, her background, and like what she believes in. She said that she's huge into conspiracies and she loves like 9/11 and Sandy Hook really got her into conspiracies. So people like that. The guest I have coming on this next Saturday, she's a little surfer chick from Kauai. Her name is also Kelsey, ironically enough. I don't really know much about her except for she's a bubbly, cute little blonde surfer chick. So I don't know what she's going to be like. And we'll just have to figure it out. It could be like an amazing first episode, or it could be like super boring. And we could just be talking about like, I don't know, weird stuff that like you guys don't care about at all. But who knows? Who cares? It's going to be,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It'll be the first one.
And I didn't wanna invite myself into this situation at all, but before we
No, I
started this
want you
stream,
there.
so this is how I thought I could possibly, be a part of this where, you're not at your computer, like, you're standing with your client, so no one's
Yeah,
really at the controls at the computer, so I can kind of be like the producer where I'm sitting here and my face is, like, right in front of it while you're over there, doing your
yeah, I would
thing,
love
but
that.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking. Maybe I'll even keep my camera off. Maybe I'll just go ahead and make it
But
so
I
that
would
all
love if
we
you
can
had any
see is that.
questions. If you had questions or you had input on anything at all, I of course would want you to ask questions or have your input, like I
Right,
find
so
what you have to say very valuable and interesting, and I would love for you to be there and just to like share your knowledge, because essentially I'm like your baby bird that you're kicking out of the nest, and I still need I don't want to go on with this analogy because it might get gross, but like
you want me to chew up the food and give it into your mouth?
Ew, that's what I was
Is that
not
I knew you
trying
were
to
gonna say.
think about right now.
Oh, what wasn't what you were gonna say? What were you gonna say
No,
now?
that's the thing that's what I was trying not to think about.
Oh, 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 oh,
Yeah,
oh.
steering away from it
We
without
have the
letting on
same
because I
brain.
wouldn't say it, but you did.
But so
So
so this is my idea. My idea is that I'm here and I'm looking at the chat. So I'm
yeah,
seeing what the chat is saying. They might have a great idea. And so basically I'm
so
like
good.
here and not talking, but then like when the time is right, when you and your client aren't engaged with each other and you want to ask me a question, like let's say the client asks a question, they say something and they're like, I don't know, but does Rose
Yeah,
know? Or
I
I
want
might
that.
say,
I'll
let's see
want
what the
that.
chat has to say about that. And I can pick, the comments to say that aren't, rude because there's always going to
Right.
be trolls. So,
Or
yeah,
if
I would
somebody
love
in
to
the
be
chat
your
has a
producer.
or if somebody in the chat has an important question that, like for the other Kelsey or whatever's going on, whatever we're talking about, and like you think that we need to be asked right there then and there so that we don't move on, something like that. That would be really cool.
I think that the first episode we're going to work out the kinks. We should always expect it not to go perfectly.
Yeah.
Uh but I think it's going to be wonderful and yeah, so I don't think there's anything else to add other than that anyone who isn't already subscribed to Kelsey's channel, it's called now Kelsey Avalon. And we are
Oh
streaming
no,
that.
I changed it back to now it's Kelsey Kauai.
When did you do that? Because when I scheduled
I
this, it was
did
still
that
Kelsey
yesterday.
Avalon. Or maybe
I
it
did
just
it
is not
yesterday.
cached yet. My bad. Okay, so Kelsey Kauai, and just please go ahead and you can see this is what her profile picture looks like. That's her channel right there. So very good, Kelsey. I'm so proud of you for jumping into this. There's a lot of people like Beth Martins who I showed how to use StreamYard, and I knew that there was a place for her in this community. We're all different. You and I feel like we are like the same person, but we're so different in other ways. And that's why we
Yeah.
have the same positive intention, but you're going to apply your aesthetic to the truth. Just like the person who woke me up was a aggressive speaker from South Philly with the South Philly accent. That was what I needed to hear in order to understand that I was going in the wrong direction and I didn't want to be a part of things. But for some other people, they might just want to hear it from someone who talks like you. Maybe right now someone who heard you read that article was like, "Oh my gosh, I like listening to information when Kelsey reads
Yeah.
it."
Maybe it was Paris Hilton. Maybe she's watching right now.
Yeah, and then maybe you can do a stream with her, and maybe she's gonna wanna have her hair done in your salon because obviously she's smart enough to know that, vaccines and masks are bullshit, and she might wanna secretly find a place when she's in
But
Kauai
are you
to
not
spray
allowed to say that
freely.
on YouTube?
I'm allowed to say that I think Paris Hilton has a brain deep down
No,
inside, I
I
think so.
thought you were saying about like the butter being bullshit,
Well, see, it's hard to say. Here, for example, I might say something that will get me striked if I really trigger the algorithm by saying certain words, and then like there's a lot that goes into it. I recommend the book Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana Zuboff. Um, it's complicated, but I'll tell you what would get me struck is if I showed some kind of clip that seemed to come from what looked like an authoritative source so that they could argue that I'm sharing medical misinformation. My voice is not that well known by the algorithms, but I can tell you that Crow's voice being in an audio recording or on someone's live stream alone could get that video taken down, just the sound of his voice. It has
Oh
happened
my.
before.
Okay. Well, the good thing about this, because I'm a little bit nervous about how, just I'm like speaking in code, and I do want to change certain words to certain things. So we'll come up with a key. You know what I mean?
A
So
legend.
a legend,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of
And
like
so
how
they'll
the
know what we're
FBI
talking
has
about.
code words for all of the evil things people do,
Yeah.
like pizza and hot dogs. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But
what
what I was
Jason
gonna
says,
say,
beer bug for coronavirus. Beer bug,
I want to say,
coronavirus.
I don't know why I want to just call the vaccine butter for some reason, but also I think this is going to be different than any other interview type show with people that are already in the truth community and or like going out onto the street and talking to people and asking random people. This is like a one-on-one with somebody for a couple hours, because when I do people's hair, sometimes it takes me like 4 hours to do a highlight on somebody. And once they sit in the chair, once their butt hits that vinyl, their mouths open and they become so comfortable. And it's like a truth serum, or like it's just like a hypnosis where they just feel like they can tell me everything about their lives, and they want to. And I want to hear about it, what they believe, where they're coming from, why they believe what they believe, and what they think about what I believe, and this world that I've been like introduced to, which is the truth community. And I just want to like really get in there and show, I want to kind of bridge the gap between the truthers and the normies, because I don't think there's that big of a difference in most places. And I feel like that because I have hundreds of clients that I talk to about this kind of stuff all the time. And I see such a like I see that there's a bridge. I see people wanting to go across, but like it just needs to be out in the open and more normalized, you know?
Yeah, Ethan makes a good point here that since you have very few subscribers and you're not really a big fish yet, that you could
I
probably
can
get
say
away with
whatever I
speaking
want.
freely. You could probably get away with speaking totally freely. I mean, I never got messed with for the longest time, which is why I really started saying ridiculous stuff to push it.
You were really, yeah, I know you were. Well, that's
So,
why, I mean, that creeper that has all those subscribers, the 40,000 subscribers, was saying like the worst stuff about me using my name, my photo, and those things never got taken down for weeks.
well, it just goes
So
to show that they're doing a favor for YouTube because the truth needs to be suppressed. So, I'm very excited about your show, Kelsey. When I flat smacked you in,
I still
in
have
March of 2020 or April, uh, I was scared. I didn't know what the outcome would be in terms of your reaction because, at that point, I was getting a lot of hatred and death threats, remember, because I wanted to come visit you in Hawaii at the beginning in March. So,
you
if
posted
there
that
was
thing
any
on Facebook.
outcome,
So that's why you were
huh?
getting a lot of death. You can't just say you were
Yeah,
getting a
yeah.
lot of death threats and then move on from that. Like she was getting a lot of death threats because she wrote something on the Facebook page in the very beginning of Corona, like the day that the island shut down. And it was
Hot
really actually,
tickets.
it was very provocative. And so so then a lot of people were sending her death threats, like not just like a few, but like thousands.
Yeah, like,
And
and a lot
remember
of these people are retarded. They're like, I
Issa
hope
was,
you choke on a chicken bone, or I'm waiting for you in
I'm
Lahui.
waiting for you at the airport with my, like in the bushes with my sniper. Like,
Yeah,
or
and
Issa said, he's like, wow, Lindsay really took the heat off the doomsday mom.
yeah, there was a woman there that had 4 missing children at the time, and so, yeah, I actually did because was it the mayor that shared my Facebook post on
Yeah,
Instagram?
it was the mayor, the Kauai Police Department, also Oahu over there. Like people were sharing it on all other islands. And then I got a call from the company that I work for, Monet's corporate.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They
They
were talking
canceled
to their
Jason's account.
they were talking to their lawyers about it, and they were like, "Is this your friend?" And then I like woke up with like 100 people texting me like, "Is this your friend? Is this your friend? Is this your friend?" And I was like at 6 a.m, "Oh my God."
And now looking back, isn't
He
that
said, "Mahalo's you
fucking
dumb."
hilarious? Can you believe that it was me that scared the entire state of Hawaii like I'm Typhoid Mary? Because like, let's tell the audience.
Did you
The
screenshot that and save it?
I deleted it from Facebook, but I know whoever
That's why I
on
changed the
Instagram.
name on Facebook.
Scroll down on Instagram, and I think Me in Hawaii at Me in Hawaii also, and I like that guy. They made fun of me. So anyway,
Yeah, lots
so
of people.
here's what it was. I was in the hospital, but I didn't use a picture from that stay. I used a worse picture from a previous day where I had an NG tube, and I'm like laying like butterfly style in the hospital bed with the NG tube and these tubes all around me. And I was like, I tickets are cheap to Hawaii. I can't wait till this is like March 11th when the emergency was declared. I was like, I can't wait. Jason and I are going to finally go on a wonderful trip for cheap to Hawaii. And Kelsey got us the what's the word for the family discount in Hawaii? The
Kama'aina. But remember, we called the Hyatt to make sure you guys could come still stay there because you had your reservations. And the guy at the front desk was like, yeah, we're all shut down, but you could still do a helicopter tour.
It's so funny. Okay, yeah. So then, and here's another funny thing. I had 2 Davids from Hawaii in my phone, and I absolutely love with all my heart your friend David Bafar, and Noel, you're our other mutual friend on Kauai. It's a small island, and I feel like I know so many ESO, and I contacted all of my friends because the day before Jason and I were going to get on the plane, because we were still planning on going, like we thought this was like bullshit. I even called into Brian and Karen's stream, and I actually was like yelling at them like, I'm fucking going to Hawaii. And so I called David Hawaii, and I was like, hi David, oh, how are you? This is Rose, and like I'm really thinking of heading out there like tomorrow, and I don't know, all this stuff on the news, and I'm almost feeling like maybe I shouldn't come. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm like, but if I do come, we totally have to hang out. I want to give you the biggest hug ever. And he's like, I'm going to be with my daughter. And David Bafar doesn't have a daughter. So it was some other David from Hawaii who I don't know who
you don't even know. Oh my God.
Well, I don't know how I got his number. Maybe we were like partying at a bar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, we should talk.
I know.
So,
back then, you probably got it from somebody.
So I probably like, okay, so what happened was is this guy gets a random call from some girl in like, you know, the mainland being on the day that everyone's freaking out. And I'm like,
I can't wait
thinking of coming there and like giving you a big hug.
And giving you my Corona.
Yeah. And then people use the term broken body. It was like those ghetto like meth heads from Kapa that are like you know, like don't bring your broken body. We don't want your broken body here on the island. Do you remember that? I was like, I'm so glad I'm not the type to get offended. Anyway,
I know. Your broken body. Like, what a weird.
Yeah.
You're so weird.
Which is funny because I don't think that I can infect someone with paralysis. I thought that they were worried about a virus. It doesn't have to do with the broken body. Anyway, I think they were just trying to hurt my feelings, and their opinion would have to matter for me in order for it to offend me. So I think we need to end the stream now because now it's almost midnight. I'm going to be up till 3 in the morning.
Okay. You can do it.
Kelsey. So when are you going to post the link to your Saturday show for your channel on Kelsey?
Tomorrow I'll post it after I go through it with you. Like
sub the channel, set the reminder when it comes up. This is going to be a brand new thing. We've got a hot flat earth hairstylist who has a deep therapeutic relationship with a bunch of people of all shapes. I'm going to be there to try and, produce with the comments. And I just really want to hype this up because Kelsey, and I hope after tonight's, with the way that she was reading the article, that she has demonstrated that she will, in fact, become a content creator that brings a value to this community and to spread the word about what's going on in the world. So with that being said, I love you, Kelsey. I'm so glad that we've come to this point. And let's just remember, this is the starting point. It's December 16th, 2021. And next year's the Master Builder number, and it's going to be money for all of us who know what's going on. Cheers, everyone. Love you all.
Okay, bye.